like big screens and you can see my face. I should tell you what happened. So before I left for conference on Thursday morning, I had a run-in with a stellar advisor. You think this looks bad? You should see her. Yeah. Wow, this is nerve-wracking. Okay. So occasionally in life, you meet someone who you immediately click with. Someone with whom you have an instant connection. On a beautiful day in May at a Lia Sophia party, I was fortunate to meet such a woman. She was the hostess of the party, and while observing her interacting with her guests, I saw something in her that I knew she would be a successful Lia Sophia advisor. She has had some difficulties to overcome and has risen above them. Knowing what she has gone through and how she's evolved really put a new perspective on what this business can really do for someone. I know you will agree with me when you hear her story. I'm very proud to introduce my colleague, my friend, and an amazing woman, Renee Lordi.
Thank you, Roger Ann Masula. Right now I want to especially thank Debbie Rakovich, Melissa Matula, and Jackie Briganti that made this conference happen today. I truly can't believe this is my very first conference, and I'm very happy to be here today to share my butterfly story with all of you. If you told me a little over a year ago that I would be on this stage telling you my story, I'm not sure I would ever have imagined that this company would have such an impact on where I am today. You see, I met my husband 12 years ago, and it truly was love at first sight. He was my best friend, and we did everything together. We literally were inseparable, and people thought we were crazy because literally, no joke, within 2 weeks, we were living together. In 3 months, we were engaged. In 6 months, we were married. God, I practiced, and I said, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. God, I started too quickly. Within a month. Oh, you're so And then literally within the year of meeting my husband, I was pregnant with my son. It just felt so perfect. My mother would tell people, just look at how they smile at each other, like there's no one else in the room but them. Every month he would give me a card, and he would always write something special in them. But he would always end each one with, I love you with all my heart, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. When we got married, he never stopped that tradition. I did, but he didn't. He truly was my soulmate, but tragically he passed away from heart failure. He was only 36 years old. He never drank, he never smoked. He was in great shape. He was the captain for the Hillside Police Department in New Jersey, with plans to be chief of police one day. He was an amazing father, and he was one of the bravest men I know. My son was only 10 months old at the time, and we never knew he was sick. On August 23rd, we celebrated his 36th birthday. On August 24th, we celebrated our second anniversary together. And on August 26th, he passed away. And I'll never forget that horrible night, because my husband just got up off the couch and fell over. I immediately called 911, and I tried to do CPR. Officer Garcia was his name. He was the first one to arrive at my house, and he did CPR too, and he just kept saying, don't leave us, Kat. go, Kat. And the doctors did everything possible at the hospital too. And they came into this little waiting room where I was in. I was separated from the other general waiting room. And they said to me, Miss Lordi, I'm very sorry, but your husband is gone. I put my head down in my lap and I screamed. I thought this only happens on episodes of Grey's Anatomy or ER. It doesn't happen in real life, or for one moment it would ever happen to me. It's sad to say it did. And my whole life changed in a matter of minutes. At the funeral, they actually closed down the Garden State Parkway, if you're familiar with New Jersey at all. He was so loved. The procession was so long, they actually closed down the parkway. And they only did that in one time, only in New Jersey's history, and that was for President Bush. So now I'm raising a baby, I'm a full-time teacher, and I'm running a household, and I'm grieving for a man that would not come home. I was lost, depressed, and just numb. I wasn't prepared to run a household by myself, and to be honest, I simply didn't know how to. My husband did everything. I never paid the bills. I didn't even know what nights the garbage gets taken to the curb. That's every Tuesday and Friday, and every other Wednesday is recycled. I didn't want to sell my home. It wasn't fair. I lost my husband, so why did I have to lose my home? So under these circumstances, I accumulated a lot of debt, and financially I struggled. I tutored once a week to make extra money, but that simply wasn't enough. I worked summer school, but that simply wasn't enough either. I thank God I have my parents to help me. They buy my son his sneakers, his school clothes, they help me with his after-school activities, you name it, they help me. Last year, I couldn't afford to pay for my son's birthday party, and I always gave my son a big birthday party so he never felt the loss of his father on his special day. With the increase of the cost of living, I simply couldn't budget for his party, so my parents took a few of his friends out to dinner. I was living paycheck to paycheck until I met my amazing leader, Audra Ann Missoula. And she told me about Lia Sophia. She said I would make much more than tutoring, and there were other teachers on her team too. I was skeptical at first, but that night I did some serious thinking. You see, I'm not the same person I was 9 years ago. I thought about what my big Italian father once said to me after he saw me demo half my backyard. And he looked at me and he said, "Renee, you're amazing. You could do it all." Then my mom gave me this frame, and my mom's in the audience, by the way, and Mom, I love you, and I couldn't be on this stage without the help of my mother, who's amazing. She gave me this frame she went to an Oprah Winfrey seminar, and it says, she believed in herself, so she could. So she did. Both my parents are successful business owners. Then I thought about my brother. He left an amazing job he had in New York to start his own business. He took a risk. His company just earned top honors in his field. So I knew I could do it, and I did. I figured I had the successful business genes in my blood somewhere, so it was my turn to try. I joined Lia Sophia in May of 2013. I did my first show, which totaled $1,900 in sales. I took home $545 in one night. That's school clothes and supplies for my son. I saw how doing a little work changed my finances. I quit tutoring and I quit summer school. And I focused on my business. My original goal was only 2 parties a month. But I saw how this financial opportunity, and I worked harder. In just 4 months, in October of 2013, I was promoted to unit leader. For the first time, I felt strong, confident, and I feel really good about myself. I felt empowered, and my financial burden was easing. Now I buy my son his school clothes. I pay for his after-school activities. I run a household, and I threw the biggest birthday party you could possibly think of that kids talk about it today. Over spring break, I took a trip of a lifetime too. My family and I went to Italy. This was once only a dream, but Lia Sophia brought it to a reality. You see, I have found a new soulmate. They're called Lia Sophia. They gave me all the tools to make my business work. I work with the most amazing upline leaders that not only gave me help, but encouragement whenever I need it. My son now attends grief counseling for our loss, but I'm involved in a sisterhood that has given me emotional support, and I know they are there whenever I need them. I am so grateful I was given the opportunity to be with the finest direct selling jewelry company and to be here today to share my story with all of you. Thank you.